Good evening, everyone. My name is Richard Lewis Brown. Today is June 29th, 2022. It's Wednesday night. Tonight is going to be a very interesting night. I'll make this very quick. Tonight, everyone on Zoom, if I can catch you on Facebook, tonight everyone's going to be able to talk about anything they want to talk about. How you doing, Jim? Whether it's union or non-union related. And what I'm going to try to do tonight, I talk in 30 seconds, you talk for 2 minutes, and we go back and forth. So, as I said, tonight is June 29th, 2022. Let's make it an exciting night for everyone. We'll go back to Carmen. Carmen, would you like to restate what you said earlier? Yes. Okay, I want to thank Carmen at 1495. Thank you for calling in and stating that. And so I'll make this really quick. I made a promise to those behind the prison walls that not only will I fight for their job security, but we will stop all mandatory overtime. Period. You can't keep signing new contracts with the same verbiage from the past. That will not work. Thank you for calling in. We'll go to Carl, and then I see Evie Lynch with her hand raised. We'll go to her after Carl. Go ahead, Carl. Okay, so hold on 1 second, Carl. People on Facebook cannot hear what you're saying. You have to speak up a little bit.
Does that help?
Yes, that helps.
Patrick killed himself October 2021.
Oh, sorry to
Because
hear.
it was frustrating.
Yes.
And part of the thing that frustrated him so bad is that he tried to get away from his current boss. And when a friend retired in Fresno, he moved from Bakersfield to Fresno to take a different position, considering the boss of the northern section. Well, they suddenly transferred the Fresno job to the southern section, gave him back to that boss.
All right, so you're saying, hold on one second. So you're saying this person, because I want people on Facebook to hear what you're saying. I don't think they can hear you. You're saying this person took his life in October of 2021 because of horrendous working conditions?
Yes, that was a major component of it. He also had obviously some family issues because his parents had died the year before. And I would never say a bad job situation is to kill yourself, but he did. It's what happened. And the other thing I was going to talk about is we tried to get promotions. We go from instrument technician to specialist. And we tried every excuse they gave us that you're not qualified, technicians can't become specialists, you have to have a bachelor's degree. Well, he met all those qualifications. He had a bachelor's degree.
So wait, hold on one second. Hold on, Carl. So this person took his life. I don't want to say his name on Facebook. This person took his life in October 2021. He had bad working conditions and an abusive boss, and he was trying to get promoted like many people in the state of California. He was highly educated, but he wasn't able to get promoted.
Yes.
Okay.
I'm trying to think of a way to honor, and this is what I've come up with. I really want to get your feedback.
Okay.
It's possible to do this. Our job, or my job now, has been stated by personnel can never be promoted. It is a dead-end job. No matter if I get a degree, no matter what skill set I have, what abilities I have, hard working I do, I can never be promoted. They literally said that. I would like to see some language put in place whenever they post a job that they either list the percentage of people that were promoted out of that as opposed to retired and quit, or at least say what jobs you can be promoted to. Because there are a lot of jobs they don't want to say that you can't get promoted because they just want to keep a low-wage job person there, because the difference between technician and specialist is 65% additional money. The specialist makes 165% of what I make. I can never get promoted to that.
So hold on, wait. I want people to hear this on Facebook because I know you're not by yourself. You're saying, and to honor this person who took his life because of an abusive a boss and bad working conditions, and he was not able to get promoted. I see you, Kathy. That you would like to have language put in the contract talking about the percentage of promotions for that particular job classification.
Somebody said that would be too hard for personnel to do.
Okay.
So how about just listing what jobs you can be promoted from? If you're in position X, what position Y or Z
Right.
you go to?
So let me say this to you really quickly, because you know people from Local 1000, they still follow me. To put that in our contract, the job opportunities to go from one job to a new job, you're probably absolutely right, Carl. What I would fall back to is what I said when I was campaigning to become the Local 1000 president. First, you have to enforce a contract. So no matter what language you put in the contract, it doesn't matter unless it's quality language and it's enforceable. Second thing is, until we address the 5.11, the dignity clause, where you can take that to arbitration, so people like your friend won't feel, in certain situations where they feel compelled to take their life, until you address that, We can add all the language we want to this contract, to this new contract, but we have to first ensure, and let's go back to what Carmen said, stop the mandatory overtime for those behind the prison walls. Stop using that, as Dr. Guzman said, as a staffing tool. Can we first address those issues? Because until we draw a line in the sand and say we will not accept these things, it doesn't matter how much you organize if you don't know what you're willing to accept and not accept in your next contract. How does that sound?
I'm understanding. I'm not sure I'm connecting the dots.
So when you're saying, can we get the language into our next contract, talk about the job opportunities from one job classification to the other, that's fantastic. I think that's great language. But can we first decide on our next contract what we're going to accept and not accept?
Okay.
Or no? I mean, it's up to you.
I understand what you're saying. I'm just trying to figure out what that translates to means, what to do, what's my action items, the next step.
Now, one quick thing about the action items. I have been asked repeatedly since I was elected to not discuss strategy on video. I've been asked that over and over and over again. So if you would like to call me after this at 408-207-2339 or email me, it's up to you.
Okay.
Then we can have a deeper conversation about how to get these things done.
Okay. And I just wanted to throw this out there to see what other people thought about it, because I want to do something to honor my friend, to honor his memory. I have been chastised by management for even mentioning that he died.
So
they want me to pretend everything's hunky-dory.
Right. So here's what I would say, Carl. Anytime someone takes their life, whether they work for state service, anytime a person feels that they have no other way out but to take their life, that's a tragic moment. And for your love to want to honor your friend, because Carl, you're not by yourself. There's other state employees who've lost their friends through state service because they took their life. And the state of California does not want that out. So if you want to go on my Facebook page and post this information, because maybe we can start a program where when state employees, not just represented by Local 1000, but anytime a state employee has to take their life because of the horrendous working conditions and abusive management, that needs to be known.
Yeah, I need to be careful because they threatened to come back on me, and I've been told they will start putting me on psychological evaluations if I'm suicidal. But no, I'm not suicidal. I'm pissed. My friend gave up his life because you were mean to him. I mean, really mean.
So what I'm hearing you say, Carl, I don't think you're pissed. I think you're using, in my personal opinion, to me, you're not pissed. You're not angry. You're just showing compassion and love for someone who felt compelled because of horrendous working conditions, because of bad management, that they had to take their life while working for the state of California. That's what I'm hearing you say, Carl.
I'm also very controlled.
Okay.
I don't want to come across as a madman.
No, to me, you're not. But to anyone who's listening on Facebook or on a Zoom, to me, you're just showing compassion by saying we must honor this person. But like I said, other state employees want to honor their friends who've taken their lives as well. And so I think that's a great point of what you're saying.
Thank you.
Okay. All right. So we'll go to Evie Lynch. Go ahead, Evie.
Thank you, President Brown. I had a few questions for Carl. First, Carl, I want to say that it takes tremendous courage to speak up, and to speak up for a friend who was going through such tremendous pain that they felt that there was no other way out of that pain except to take their own life. To speak up for someone in that situation also takes great courage. So thank you for doing what you're doing, because we do need to talk openly about mental health. Sometimes mental health is looked down as a taboo, and it's not. People need to be able to just as freely talk about their mental health status as they do their physical health status. Why is it such a taboo to say, I need help because mentally I'm in pain? We all have been there at one time or another, and we should be able to freely reach out to each other when we need assistance. So Carl, thank you for what you're doing. I think it's just a tremendous thing. It takes tremendous courage, and we need more people like you. And I wanted to support you by answering some of those questions that you had. You said, what actions can I take? But I had a few questions. Carl, what DOC are you in? And did your friend ever file a grievance? If so, what happened with that grievance? If you can just answer those three for me.
Bargaining Unit 11, there was a number of grievances that he dealt with, that he filed. But the kicker is his last attempt at promotion, they put his current boss as one of the people supervising or overseeing for the promotional opportunity. And that person went to his funeral, and well, I wasn't real happy with what he said. I'll just leave it like that. It's the politest way I can say it. And pretending like, oh gee, I cared so much about him. I had no idea. And I just, okay, I'm just going to stop.
Hey, Carl, Bargaining Unit 11, just remind me what classification is in Bargaining Unit 11?
Technicians and scientists.
Okay. And did you receive, because one of the things that I recall when President Brown had did a survey regarding grievances and where they went. I'm sorry, whoever has their, could everybody self-mute because it's distracting, please?
Okay, I muted everyone, and now I'm unmuting Evie. Go ahead, Evie.
Thank you, President Brown. And then, Carl, I just wanted to find out, those grievances that were filed, did they go anywhere? And because I asked this specifically because it goes to the point that President Brown made previously, that we have multiple people who are suffering because when they reach out to our union and grieve because they are in pain, nothing is happening.
So wait, hold on 1 second, Evie. I've been asked to unmute Carl so he can say something. So I'm gonna unmute you, Carl. You can unmute yourself. Okay, go ahead, Evie, Carl.
Management shoved a lot of that stuff under the table. His suicide letter that was at his desk, that boss took it, and I know the police had to look at it, but we will never be privy to it. What things happen with the union, I don't know, and there is no discussion. They really want to pass this. So I have no knowledge other than what I can get from a little bit of talk I get with a former coworker that retired and the sister that he was having trouble with running a funeral.
So, Carl, I apologize.
So-
I have my information I'm going to place my information in the chat. I would like to speak with you further, if possible, afterwards. So if you can get my information in the chat so we can discuss further, if that's okay.
Sure.
All right. Well, Evie, thank you for calling in. If you want to call and raise your hand again. This is such a sensitive issue, and I'm talking to people on Facebook, seeing your comments too. You know, anytime someone takes their life, that's horrendous. And what I was basically saying is, this is a type of issue, and everyone's making comments, and I would like to say, ask everyone to make those comments in chat about this, you know, terrible situation that happened. With that being said, you know, I want to go back to what I said initially. If your dignity is being violated, and your dignity is being controlled by CalHR in Step 3, 5.11, then we can expect certain things to happen. Now, we never want anyone to take their life. But when they're telling people to organize, and they're trying to get people to build membership, because we want our Local 1000 to have strong membership, until they tell you what they're willing to accept and not accept, you're doing the same thing from the past. All right, so we'll go to the next caller, DLC 772 President Mary Dela Cruz. Thanks for being patient. Go ahead, Mary.
Thank you for taking my call. I feel really, it's heart-wrenching what Carl had shared, and it's unfortunate because our current union has never put teeth in this, our MOU. In fact, when you get management saying, hey, file a grievance, you yourself, Richard, has shown that we've had grievances sitting there for how many years? 2, 3, before they're even addressed. How many other people will kill themselves by the time that grievance even gets heard? So until we get a reboot for this union, or people in positions that can make those decisions are willing to fight for the members, it's unfortunate, but I don't see things changing. And I will tell you, there was a memo that was sent out today. The bargaining unit 17, nurses may not get the telework because the paperwork wasn't filled out. I want to ask you, my bargaining chair is Vanessa C. Strong. Where's the oversight? Where is, and she's on union leave. Somebody gave her union leave. What is she doing and not ensuring that what needs to be taking place is being taken care of? I mentioned this was mandatory overtime or posted bid, it'd be top on the list. And here, how many times have we brought this up to the union? But unfortunately, those that are making decisions and have the power to make those decisions right now it's falling on deaf ears, and that's all I have to say. Thank you.
President Dela Cruz, agreed. I have a lot to say about that, but I'll hold off because I want everyone to keep talking. But that telework is an issue, and I realize that. So we'll go to DLC 770, Secretary Treasurer Derek Rowe. Go ahead, Derek.
Good evening, Mr. President. How are you?
I'm doing just fine.
That's great. So I want to go back to, first of all, I want to say, Carl, I've sent my condolences to you. And if you ever need to talk, I heard you say yes, that's my hometown. I'll give you my info as well. Reach out to me anytime you'd like to. I'm in Augusta. I operate out of Augusta. I also addressed it here. The second thing I wanted to bring up, Mr. President, was earlier at the beginning of this call, they said tonight we addressing for the first time union issues and not issues of life. So I want to go ahead and do that. I just want to talk tonight about there seems to be a strong, some kind of tie, and it's been bothering the hell out of me since January, because I think that's what a lot of the problems stem from. Weak contracts, weak representation, and I don't know, some people call me crazy, some people call me a conspiracy theorist, I've been called first name on Facebook, but I'm going to go there tonight. And I want to talk to everyone about two things that are supposed to be completely opposite, but somehow intertwined with one another. And that is the relationship between the union and the mafia. And if you go on Google and you type in union and mafia, let's go there. Because the federal government, if you go on to the OJB.gov website, you can read a whole bunch of articles about racketeering, labor racketeering with unions, and all kinds of other illicit crimes, extortion, Yeah, I said extortion. Look this up. I can't make this up if I wanted to make there. But people want to ask where this stops and where that profession reset begins. I'll tell you what, in my opinion, it stops when we stop operating like a damn mob and start representing our members. And until we can get our shit together, excuse my language, we're going to be stuck under mob rule. Thank you very much, Mr. President.
All right, DLC 770 Secretary Treasurer Garrick Rogue. He gave out condolences to Carl for the loss of his friend, who was a state employee because of abusive working conditions, abusive management, and he didn't have the opportunity to promote, even though he was highly educated. And they say that education is the key to being successful in not California, but in America. So that's what they claim. And then he talked about two things, possibly the union and the mafia being related. So, as everyone knows, I do unscripted, unedited, unrehearsed videos. I don't tell people what to say. I don't do that. Everyone has an opinion. What I'm attempting to do tonight, whether it's union related or non-union related, I'm going to bring it all back to the union and simply say this. What we're seeing our union doing is operating under the old status quo. Period. You're operating under the old status quo, and they're telling you they're trying to build membership. But all this is garbage. It's lies. It's not the truth. Until someone tells you, before they organize you, have they told you what they're willing to accept and what they're not going to accept? Because remember, I told you a 21% pay increase across the board for everyone equally, including GOP and COLA. And everyone laughed at me years ago when I said it. And now we're nearly $100 billion in surplus. No one's laughing now. But it took me 9 years to get elected. It took a lot of patience. All right. So the next hand I see raised, I see Evie's hand is raised again. So go ahead, Evie.
Thank you, President Brown. Eugene can go before me since he has not spoken.
Okay. So a Eugene Debs. I don't know who Eugene is, but go ahead, Eugene. Hello, Eugene.
Thank you, Mr. President.
Oh, you're very welcome.
My hope, this is Carl Bedman, is a damn awful environment to have to work in. And so, thank you for bringing that information to us. I wanted to comment about what Garrett just mentioned, which was the connection between union and mafia. There's corruption there's corruption in corporate America, and there is corruption in organizing. So it's prevalent everywhere. But the problem with our union, our local union, is you have essentially two different models of union. You've got an organizing model, and you have a representation model. Okay? The representation model was rejected by SCI International and was the name of back in the early 2000s then International. But they went to an organization model. Why did they go to an organization model? They went to an organization model because organization is the revenue. Representation is spending money. That's the only reason they are talking about an organization.
Hold that point right. Hold that point right there. I want to make sure, because I actually turned my air conditioner on. I want to make sure people on Facebook heard what Eugene Debs said. Two types of unions. One, organizing. Organizing is about bringing in money. Period. And then the other type is representational, which was the original union. That's a labor union. And when you represent people, you have to spend money to represent people. So therefore, you need as many members as possible so you can afford to represent those people when they need you, with their members or just represent employees. I'm sorry. Go ahead, Eugene Debs. Go ahead.
Richard, and besides the obvious differences between organizing and representation, the real difference, the core difference of it has to do with when a grant, building a grant, when organizing, when I come out and say when you support the long unit, we're stronger and we're bargaining table. Yeah, that's true, but it doesn't say why you should belong to it. When you represent people, you don't even have to say why. Because they understand that you're just going to fight for them no matter what.
So wait, I want you to repeat what you just said because people can't hear what you're saying on Facebook. You talk about the organizing, which is about bringing in revenue. That's one way. That's one type of union. The other type of union, representational, that's about protecting the people that you represent when they have grievances, which requires spending money. But then you went to that brand. Could you explain that to me, to us again? The brand.
Sure, I'll give it my shot. Yes.
Okay.
When status quo people, and I'm talking about that organizing is their model, and why it's important to belong to the union because we're stronger at the bargaining table,
Right.
et cetera, et cetera. And all the same bullshit, purple up on Wednesdays and everything else, right?
Right.
But they don't tell you why it's important other than the more of us, the better, right? But when you represent your people, you are building a brand. You don't have to tell people why to belong to a union because people understand that belonging to the union and that makes us stronger. Period. That is your brand. You don't have to sell it because it's understood.
So, Eugene, the air conditioner just turned off. Eventually, I'm gonna have to turn the air off, and then I'm gonna start sweating. Okay, so now, Monica, I see you on Facebook. All right, so Eugene, can you briefly? I hate to keep asking you, but that's so important because the way you're explaining it, some people are gonna be very receptive to it. When I try to explain it, sometimes I don't articulate quite the way you're doing it. So can you please quickly say that all over again?
Yeah, I can give it a shot. Can you hear me now?
Yes.
Basically, I was saying, I'll try to summarize it real quick. Organizing, is a revenue generator. Representation is a revenue, cost. The status quo people will tell you that organizing, is important because it makes us stronger at the table. Well, yeah, but it doesn't tell people why you need to come up with $90 a month, to belong to the union. When it's all said, I can get the same thing from the union and not have to give them $90 a month. But when you represent people, then you don't even have to tell them why it's important to belong to the union because it's understood. Belonging to the union, my union represents me, whether I'm at the an agreements or I'm at the bargaining table. Period.
Okay. I'm gonna try to come back to that. That caller Eugene Debs makes a great point. Some people understand that. Some people may not agree with that. But tonight, people can call in and always my calls, you can call in and say what you want to say. I don't control what people say. All right. But that's a great point. Organizing versus representational. And actually, October 1st of 2021, we went to a representational style union. And that, some people didn't like that because they said, quote, we're no longer involved in politics. But that was part of my platform. So, okay. So the next caller, I see hand raised, Yolanda Williams. Go ahead, Yolanda.
Hi, Richard.
Hi.
Hi, members. I just was on Straight Talk, and basically he mutes people. He don't want, you don't want to answer the real questions. So I asked, are the members dues paying for the legal fees against our duly elected president? And basically he said
Mm-hmm.
on union leave or however he's getting paid by our money, and we didn't elect him.
So,
How is this happening?
so I want you.
Let me finish. Wait. One more thing I said.
Okay.
And I asked him. I said, does this go through? Doesn't this big items have to go through the members, such as policy change, the bylaws that really govern the union? Doesn't that have to go through the members? Do you know whoever this, what's this Bobby Dutton or Bobby somebody? I was like, I'm not talking to you. And he was like, well, then Bill, well, let him speak. You know, go ahead, Bobby. So he goes and says, yeah, it goes through us. I mean, basically, you know, and I'm thinking, like, no, it needs to go through the members. It's crazy. I just think it's real crazy that these people are up there doing what they want to do. You know, it's insane. Go ahead, Richard.
So Yolanda, I want you to repeat. You said that you was listening to Straight Talk tonight, and that DLC 744 President Billy Hall told you that his attorney fees was paid.
No, yeah, he said
Mm-hmm.
when I went on there and I asked the question, are the members' dues paying for your legal fees to fire our duly elected president? And he said, just $42,000 has been paid, you know, and I'm like, well, how's that happen? You know? And then Bobby comes in and says that, you know, it has been approved by the board, you know, and so they can take care of different things and all this other. And I'm thinking to myself, that needs to go through the members. So I'm going on and I'm talking. I'm like, well, that's not right because isn't it true that big things such as policy changes, bylaws, and stuff like that have to go through the members? And then Bobby, whoever he is, said no. Something that goes through the, you know, I mean, it's a yes and no. Some of the, you know, stuff goes through the members and other things can go through the board. So I said, oh, so the board will go in closed session for certain things and not let the members know and just approve stuff. Well, that ain't right. And Bill was basically, well, you're not going to let me speak. I guess I'm going to have to mute you. You know, I'm not going to argue with you. No, just answer the questions. It's either yes or no, you know? So, anyway.
Okay, so hold on 1 second. Hold on 1 second. All right. I wanted to make sure that you were. I wanted to make sure.
They're gonna post it. If they edit it or not, I don't know. But I was on there and I'm asking those questions, and I know he said $42,000. I'm like, $42,000. What?
It was, the meeting was insane. I heard you too, and you know, I couldn't even believe it. He just was muting people. Supposed to be an open meeting for discussion.
Right.
They're using our money without member approval. Essentially, is what he said, and then
Yes, that's
they're
right.
changing policies. You know, essentially he said they can change policies and procedures if they want. They don't have to have members' approval. I mean, it's that to me. How insane is that? Why would people want to pay dues? Why would they pay dues to a union where they have no say in the union? I heard you, and I heard the whole thing. I was appalled. I had to get off, and they wouldn't even answer why the chat is closed. And I also tried to raise my hand so that I could ask some questions, and they're just very selective of who they're going to ask questions from tonight. I don't know. I'm blown away. It's just,
They want to only listen to the people that cater to them, young ladies. That's all they want to do, and make them look like they're doing the most. They're not doing the most. They're ruining our union. They're taking our money, doing what they want, putting people in places and stuff like that. This is absolute
So,
What's that?
one quick thing, because I know people are putting stuff on Facebook and putting in the chat. I've been asked to not talk strategy on video. I've been asked that since I was elected. If anyone wants to know what they can do, they can always reach out to me at 408-207-2339. As you know, a few weeks ago, people were emailing the governor at his personal email. People were calling the URC. Some people were filing HR1s, and they would call and say, Richard, I filed the HR1, but they threw it back out because they said that, you know, I didn't have a credible HR1. I would tell people that you have to keep filing paperwork. Second thing, really quickly, Yolanda. You know what? I'll come back to it because I want everyone to talk. And
My HR1, let me finish. My HR1, they kicked it back. You're
What?
right. And they're not answering the question of the $1,800 for Miss Teresa Taylor.
so,
I'm like, wait a second, how you not gonna answer I under what do you call the HR1 9.001, whatever the code is,
Yes.
subsection I. How come you're not answering that? Don't just ignore it. He ain't got back to me, Mr. Jimenez, David Jimenez.
So-
He ain't got back to me.
all right. So tonight was supposed.
I'm done.
Oh no, it's fine. So I'm smiling, and I turned my ear off because everything that you're saying, Yolanda, I want people on Facebook to hear it. I wasn't referring to your HR1. I've had other people contact me, so I don't throw anybody underneath the bus when I'm doing these videos. I would tell people, if they want to take action, just call me. Other people are taking action. Okay, so that was my...
I took action because I don't appreciate what this lady said
Right.
about you. How can she talk about our president
Right.
in that manner
So-
and still
Right.
decide that she can be on the board and make decisions for the members and on CalPERS? Okay, I'm finished. I don't want to take no more time. Sorry.
All right, so you can always raise your hand again, Yolanda. I see Evie's hand is raised again, but we haven't spoken to Ron Rawson or DLC 768 President Cheryl Allen or DLC 770 President Nicole. So we'll go to Ron. So go ahead, Ron, former President of DLC 746.
How you doing, President Brown?
I'm doing just fine, and so he said this to you. Oh, you're very welcome. Let me say this to you really quick, Ron, and to everyone on here. This has been a battle of faith, of endurance, and if I've offended someone with my mouth, which you know I have, then I ask you to forgive me. Please continue on, Ron. And DLC 772 President Mary Dela Cruz, and DLC 768 President Cheryl Allen. I've offended you too. I'm sorry. Go ahead, Ron.
We all support you.
Thank
So,
you.
I just want to say that I sent Aunt Geezy an email, and everybody, if somebody can put Aunt Geezy's email in the chat, I sent Aunt Geezy an email because the lawsuit against you, if I'm not mistaken, I saw it listed three parties. It listed you, then it listed Local 1000, and it listed International. Am I correct?
Yes.
I just want to know.
Yes.
So when we pay Bill Hall legal fees, we're actually, our union dues are paying for somebody to sue our union. Okay.
So,
So
okay.
So they're suing you and SEIU Local 1000 and International. So that don't make no damn sense. So whoever was in that board meeting and then say, what the hell sense does this make for you to pay Bill Hall when he named not only President Brown, but at all, because he had to be, they had to list your fiduciary responsibility names, which was Local 1000 and International, in that for him to be able to sue you. That's number one. Number two, Yolanda Williams raised a great question, or somebody in the chat did, and Yolanda, it was great for you to, it seemed like lights are finally coming
So,
Because
so
Heidi, let me just say this, President Brown. Heidi Chadwick put in our chat about the organization, and somebody can find it. Mary, I don't know, I posted it again. But the organization that's helping Michigan SEIU are suing their union right now for financial malpractice, misappropriation of their union dues, and all of that. They have a lawsuit from Michigan. We can join the SEIU in Michigan. The article is out. If we get with the organization that is suing, they're suing their union for malpractice and financial malpractice. And we need to be, unless you have wrote the California bar and reported Ann Geesey, who is our attorney in SEIU, who's complicit, whose legal license should be taken from her if she's advising them to misappropriate our funds. We have the strategy up. We can't just be mad as hell and put in the chat that's bullshit or whatever. Until we're gonna put our money where our mouth is, then nothing's gonna happen. But when we're ready to give to this retainer, and Derek, you can put in the chat the cash app, what we're trying to raise, because we want our duly elected president restored when they ask for our ask. We want our president restored, and we don't want, and what we talked to this attorney about doing is this, Yolanda. We told him to freeze the spending of SEIU until all legal matters are handled. That means, other than paying the mortgage on our building and paying our secretaries, we need to freeze all spending. We need to file an injunction on all spending, all credit cards, everything. If the president don't get one, you don't get one. If the president isn't indemnified, you're not indemnified. We've got to get an attorney to turn this around. That's all I can come to say.
So wait, before you leave, Ron. Ron has said a whole lot really quick. It's very important. Let me say this. I don't tell Ron Rawson what to say and what to do. And I don't tell anyone that comes to my videos what to say and what to do. When I was elected president, and the announcement on May 24th, 2021, the last thing I'd ever want is for people to take action against the union legally. And any union president, any president of any large corporation or organization does not want lawsuits. Not against him or her, and not against the organization, because it's going to hurt the image of the organization. Ron, Yolanda, Evie, Cheryl, Mary, and so many others. These people are passionate. They're not mad, and they're not upset, and neither is Carl. They're passionate and they're concerned. And that's what people of this great country do. They speak their concerns and then they put it into action. I hate what's going on for the union. I hate it. But we can correct these issues. And again, I don't tell Ron what to say and what to do. And so before people go away from this call, people on Facebook or people on this Zoom or whoever's watching me, because you do watch me, and say that Richard put Ron up to say those things. No, I did not. As people know, I have my own problems that involve the union. So I want to tell the people on Facebook, they should follow my page. Anybody can go to my page and post stuff on my page. Anybody. I don't mute my page. I don't lock my page. Okay, that was my 30 seconds. All right. Oh, and one quick thing. Regio on chat. Call me, please. Please call me 408-207-2339. All right. So let's go to DLC 768 President Cheryl Allen. Go ahead, Cheryl.
Thank you, Richard. Good evening, everyone. I know this might be an unpopular thought or or comment, but I'm kind of gonna piggyback off of something that Yolanda said,
Okay.
something that Ron said, as well as something that you said. First and foremost, Yolanda, you asked, how did they do that? How were they able to get away with that? Well, simply say they were able to get away with that because we did not have the representing votes to block them or stop them. Okay, now that's just the plain answer, and I'm gonna keep it low so that the votes can get it. Now I understand that we have, mixed feelings and a mixed consensus over whether or not we all should participate in these board meetings. But I'm just gonna I'm gonna give it to you straight, and I'm gonna keep it 100. If we do not participate, then we end up in the situation that we are currently in. This is not a slight or disrespect to our President Richard Brown, but it just is what it is. Sometimes you have to call a spade and play your hand accordingly. Now, what I was able to ascertain from attending that meeting is that all of the actions that were taken that are most detrimental of our president, or our president being returned to his seat, were done under the pretense of us not being there, stating our voice, and or utilizing our right to cast an opposing vote. Just like in your personal life, your votes matter. If they didn't, trust me, they would not have gone through the lengths and the extremes that they went to steal mine and Linda Martin's vote. So for us to continue to not participate in these board of director meetings is like blowing your own foot off and then wondering why it is that you cannot compete in the race. That's first things first. Secondly, to piggyback a little bit further on what Ron said with regards to the indemnification of of Bill Hall versus Richard. When I posed that question in the meeting, in the board of directors meeting, the answer that I received was Richard was being indemnified by the corporation, also known as SDIU Local 1000, when he had his attorneys being paid for while he was still sitting as president. So, with that being said, they did not elaborate any further, and then when I asked them to provide for me the corporate code in which they were referring to that stated that they had that right to do so, mum's the word, they did not answer my question and they quickly moved on. For those of you who do not know, my profession for the last 12 to 15 years, I can't think of the actual number at this point, is I'm a corporate document examiner. I deal with corporate laws all day, every day. That means the interpretation of those laws, how those laws are applied, and then turning around and translating them and breaking them down so that laymen, meaning people who are not familiar with the code, can understand it so that they can correct their documents and submit them accordingly. So, while I may not be able to quote to you the exact corporate code, I can hear and understand very quickly and without a shadow of a doubt when a code is taken out of context. And in this particular case, that is exactly what has happened. Last but not least, allow me to reiterate, not only are they paying for his attorney, not only is his union dues, not only is he out on full-time union leave, but in addition to that, he is now collecting a salary, not a stipend, and that is for all of the vice presidents. So, again, rather than saying that, wait, hold on, just a second, show me some respect. I see you, sis, and I understand how you feel because I felt the exact same way. But the point that I'm trying to make is this: we cannot continue to turn our head and bury it in the sand and say that us throwing a proverbial temper tantrum and not participating and not going to these meetings is what's going to change the situation and what it is that we're currently dealing with. Nor can we, and again, Richard, this is no disrespect to you in no way, shape, fashion, or form, but we can no longer just sit here and talk about in how many different ways that we are angry about what's going on. No more can we continue to do our own thing. We must, it is imperative for us to come together and move as a collective actions, and those actions need to be complied with by all of those who are involved. And if you don't, then that's perfectly fine. Nobody's mad. You move on and you jump in when you have the opportunity or when you're ready to do so. But there are so many different ways in which we have missed our opportunity to not only change this, but change it for the better of all of our members involved. So I just want to encourage, I'm not giving out any suggestions. We're all adults. We all know what I mean, what I say, what I'm saying. I encourage us all who are on this call that are vetted and the processes of this union being a union to take a physical stand. Think about it this way. If all Martin Luther King or in Malcolm X did was sat around and talked about the civil rights marches or the civil rights actions, then we would be nowhere. The civil rights movement was just that, a movement. You got to move something, and I mean more than your mouth. You've got to get out. You have to combat this situation in the way in which you only can. Richard, you already won in the streets. Now, if you get your members mobilized in these different DLCs, you will be surprised what it is that you can do. But sit behind a computer screen complaining, talking about how bad you are, yeah, that's good, and how you don't like it, and how you want this and you want that. I'm going to tell you like my mom used to tell me, the people in hell want ice water. You want it, ain't going to change it. What's going to change it is you getting up, you getting on your feet, you mobilize, organize, and you make the changes that you want. Thank you for your time. Don't disrespect to anyone. Enjoy the rest of your evening. In solidarity, 768 President Cheryl Allen.
Okay, well, we want to thank DLC 768 Cheryl Allen, DLC 768 President Cheryl Allen for calling in. Now we go to the next DLC President, 770 Nicole Solo. Go ahead, Nicole. Nicole?
Richard, hi.
Okay.
I don't have to say, I think Cheryl Allen pretty much summed it up in the comment that she made. I just wanted to tell you that it's nice to see you, and even though I'm in the background, I'm still supporting you.
Thank you.
We really need our people at those meetings. We need their vote. And that's all I want to say. So, thanks,
Okay.
Richard.
Well, listen, thanks for calling in DLC 770 President Nicole Solo. And I know a lot of people have passionate feelings about going to these illegal meetings and having their voice heard. And you know, Yolanda made a quick point about when she was trying to have her voice heard and they was muting her. And so when you call your meetings, you can mute and just do whatever you want to do to people. It kind of makes you wonder whether you go or not, if your voice will even be heard, if the votes are going to be counted correctly. And when they don't offer a lack of transparency, so you don't know who voted for what, on what issues, and what the real vote count is. And the last email that sent out that Linda Martin talked about, a 37 to 12 number, we don't know how that really happened. So at least when I do my videos, I demand a roll call vote so everyone is held accountable for their vote. All right, so the next caller, Betty Jackson Stewart. Go ahead, Betty.
Can I jump in real quick for a hot second, Miss Betty? And again, Richard, this is no disrespect to you.
Okay.
Now that the board has voted to change and amend the bylaws, those meetings are no longer illegal.
Okay.
They changed the bylaws and they changed the policy files to justify the actions that they've made in the past,
Right.
and that they're currently making. And so because of that, we have to call the spade a spade. They're no longer illegal.
All
They
right.
might be unjustified,
Right.
and they might be whack, for lack of a better word.
Right.
But they are not illegal. So what we have to do is move to change things back so that they will be illegal. And thank you very much. Sorry, Ms. Betty, for cutting you off.
Okay. So let's go to Betty Jackson Stewart. Go ahead, Betty.
Good evening, everyone. And Ms. Cheryl, no problem at all. You can have all the time you need. And so what I would like to speak about first, I want to make a comment. President Brown, stand behind you 100%. Miss Cheryl and all of our members stand behind you all. I believe what Cheryl is stating is very important. I've never been to one of those meetings, and I'm not a president, so at this time I will never probably attend one. However, things are happening, and my understanding is when these votes are counted, we are losing by 1 to 2 votes. So if more people were in attendance, instead of losing these votes, we probably meet them head to head. And that's part of the movement that Cheryl is speaking about. Sometimes we have to shake back. They're shaking the table, but sometimes we need to shake the table back. And one person can't do it. We, as many of us that can be present and stand up and fight back, we need to shake the table, and maybe we can shake it down. And that is the goal. That is the goal at this time, because they run all over us, and someone is allowing it to happen. And it isn't just Hall in that chair. There are other people, like on the level of court people, judges. There are people who are allowing this to happen. And we need to come up with a game plan to change things. And one of those game plans is to show up and show out. We can't show out if we're not.
So, I know, not to cut you off, Betty. This is funny. My Facebook, no, just hear me out for a second, and then I'll let you continue on. My Facebook page is completely open. So any DLC president who strongly supports me and believes in my leadership, they can always go on my page and put their name on my page. And they can start a list, and you can see all the DLC presidents and bunk chairs who support me. And then you can run a list on all the DLC presidents who support, DLC presidents and bunk chairs who support DLC President Billy Hall. Yeah, then you can run a comparison list, and then you can decide, who has the most support.
Well, I don't care about that.
Well, but hold on, real quick. You may not care about that, but since so many people are convinced about going to these illegal meetings and voting, and Yolanda Williams just stated that every time that she tries to say something, she just gets muted. She gets ignored.
But Yolanda is not there to vote.
No, hold on. Wait a minute. But even when DLC 772 President Mary Dela Cruz has gone religiously to those meetings and fought, a lot of times they just muted her and ignored her too.
They did, but they can't ignore her vote.
Okay.
That's the entire point of this.
Okay. So here, right.
Vote.
So taking action.
Their vote away.
So taking. So this is very simple, and it's very transparent. People know that President Cruz, President Allen, and I would say maybe 3 more DLC presidents, and maybe bunk chairs, maybe support me. So they should just run a list on my page and say, these are the people on the board that support President Brown, and list their names, and then count them out.
I don't think they should do that. And the reason
Oh, you don't think they should do that? So hold on, but I ran. But wait a minute.
because it could be dangerous.
No, it's not dangerous. No, it's not dangerous. Hold on one second. Wait a minute. No, wait a minute. No, wait a minute. Let me tell you why it will be necessary. My platform, my 10-point platform, and I told you and Angela Pruitt, when y'all talked to me in the summer of 2020, whether you agree with everything I say or whether you don't, the one thing I'll do, I'll tell you up front and I'll be transparent about it. Now, people are calling saying that Local 1000 is no longer being transparent because you don't know if them videos are being edited or scripted. You don't know what's going on. So if you really want to support transparency, then let's find out transparently on the board who supports the president. I'm sorry, not to cut you off. Go ahead, Betty. Okay.
So if that's what people want to do and that's what you need people to do, that's fine.
Okay.
What I'm speaking of is I'm backing Cheryl 100%. I'm backing Angela. I'm backing Mary and anyone else who feels that it is important to vote, because I will tell you this. A lot of people believed because of the support Donald Trump had, and I'm not saying right or wrong or getting all political. I'm just stating many people believe, many Americans believe that because of all of the support he had.
Right.
And it looked as though he had way more support than the person who won. But a lot of people just closed their mouths and went and let their voting do the speaking for them. And he did not return to that office. He did not. So I believe sometimes you gotta just show up and show out. You don't. Everyone doesn't need to know your plan. And some of those people are dangerous. For me, I feel like if someone would contact the police and create a narrative that I am in my home hurting someone just to get the police to come here, and you know and I know we have no idea how the police will respond when I open the door because of the color of my skin, that puts me in a dangerous position. Because you know what? Who's going to save me? Who's going to save me from them when they come in and say she pulled a gun on us and shot me 99 times and put the gun in my hand and took photos of it? Who is here to say that isn't what happened? Because that happened to you, Richard, and all you did was run for president. So I believe if they could do something that criminal to you, they could do it to any one of us. All of that doesn't matter. Everyone will know the support when we go in there and vote. That's where that support is going to come from. When people take that stance and they vote, because now their voice has spoken for them. And so, let me move on to what I was going to say. Okay. But thank you, Richard. Thank you, all of you, Yolanda, Cheryl, Mary, Ron, everyone for speaking up. Mr. Carl, compassion for you and how you're feeling about your friend. What I want to state is, today I learned at one of the facilities, one of the offices, a new vendor was brought in. The name of the new vendor that was brought in to conduct the COVID testing is called, the name is Color, C-O-L-O-R. This new testing vendor asked questions like, what is your sexual orientation? Now, I don't know why anyone needs to have that information in order for you to schedule a test. However, it asked that. And one of the other questions is whether or not you're pregnant. And then if you do not answer the question, it will not go any further to allow you to schedule your testing. For me, with my naked eye, because I know something is going on here, but I have no idea what. This looks like a survey. It looks like a survey. And they just, recently overturned that Roe versus Wade. I believe we turned the radio on Friday morning and boom, there it was. They overturned it. So I don't know if they want to outdo same-sex marriages or what. I don't know what that's about. But who we are attracted to and whomever we have sex with, as long as it is not illegal, it is no one's business but your own. It is absolutely no one's business. And something needs to be done about this. And when one of the young ladies reached out to HR to say, hey, I am not able to schedule an appointment to have my COVID testing conducted simply because I will not answer these questions, a note came back and stated, well, this company has been fully vetted and everyone is using them. Everyone is not using them. Because where I am, the sites that I have, they're all utilizing mobile med. Through the state of California, every single institution is utilizing mobile med. Who does not ask these questions? So this is not the only place going through and it's been vetted to its fullest. And I just want to state to the members, this is not something, there is no need for you ever to answer a question like this. There's something happening with this information. And whatever this is, someone needs to look into this and this needs to stop. Everyone is providing this man all of his money, giving away all your union dues and all of that, making his life cushion. But someone needs to get inside of this and see what in the hell is going on. Because what is my sexual orientation? What does that have to do with me getting tested for COVID? Is my test result going to come out different? it this way because she has a doll. She has a blow-up doll, and that's her sexual orientation. So hers, of course, is going to be on this side of it. I don't think so. I don't think so. And that our EEOC, our code of conduct through the state, it is mentioned in variable places where this type of information is no one's business. No one should ask it because it has nothing. This is like ageism. This is like colorism. This is like, you understand where I'm going?
Yes.
These type of questions should never be asked by anyone. It isn't like it's a disability. So these questions should not be asked. And that was, I'm hoping someone can do something regarding this. Because there are people, the moment you refuse to test, you have people like Susan Espinoza that are waiting so that they can say, okay, you can't work, you need to go out and leave. So it's something that needs to be addressed immediately. Thank you.
You're very welcome, Betty Jackson Stewart.
Can I answer some of Betty's questions about that?
Yes. Go ahead, Carl.
Betty, I was required to do COVID tracing for LA County back when COVID was really big. And to give you an idea of how bad the things were, I literally had 14 pages of questions to ask people. And there were like 6 questions, half a page of questions about a person's sexual identity. And I told people, if you don't want to answer that, I'm not going to make you answer it. It's none of the state's business. It's none of my business. You're absolutely right. However, the health departments have to keep statistics. And so the reason for those questions is they're trying to keep statistics on all the little nuances about us so that they can say that people with green hair and purple eyes are getting more COVID than people with orange skin. And they track all this minutia. What's bothersome is that, and I'm using color. I have to report the color every week. I know exactly the kind of stuff you're talking about. Because they make you state that, oh, everything I'm telling you is the absolute truth. And I tell you, I have a real problem with that because it then puts it, if you don't want to give that information, you lose your job. And you know, it's not an easy thing, but at least so far we've not been required to show proof that we've gotten the COVID vaccine. And I'm thankful that if it wasn't for Mr. Brown, we probably would be. But just to answer your question shortly, it's from a health statute and statistics standpoint that they are requiring that.
However, the only thing, Carl, I can see where your sexual orientation may be questioned is regarding that monkeypox. Because monkeypox, the statistics show that it has something to do with men having sex with men and something about that on the lines of that. However, your sexual orientation has nothing to do with this job, and it is in every code of conduct. The state would need to go in and change all of that because Mobile Med and Mary DX, we had Mary DX the first year I was where I am now, and they have just changed over to Mobile Med. Neither one of those vendors ever asked anyone what your sexual orientation is and whether or not you're pregnant. They ask for your name, your date of birth, and they ask for maybe your mobile telephone number and your email address so that they can forward you your results when your results come in. Personal information other than your birthday, it doesn't ask for. So that's bull. They're looking for something, and they do not have a right to force you to provide them that information.
I'm not justifying what they're doing. I'm just explaining the reality of where it's coming from, and it's kind of like being stopped by the police. You know you didn't do anything wrong, but by golly, I had a friend that's African American. He was pulled over just because he was African American one night, and he was talking to me about it, how it bothered him, but he was able to keep his cool. It's like, it happens, but you just have to be calm in the moment of that situation and deal with it after the fact, because we live in an imperfect world, and some people are a little just too nosy.
And I can see
Hey, brothers and sisters, I really appreciate this topic. I'm sorry not to be rude. It's just that we have.
you are being.
Hold on 1 second.
Exactly what you're doing.
Hold on 1 second. Hold on 1
I'm
second.
bringing
Hold on.
education to the forum, and that is exactly for correction. You are being rude.
So hold on.
Some important information. I believe what I'm bringing to the table is very important, and I am here to state you are being rude. I'm not done with what I need to say. I didn't know why we didn't interrupt Cheryl. I even allowed Cheryl to have some of my time. We didn't interrupt Mary Della Cruz. We didn't interrupt Yolanda, and I don't know who you are. I'm Betty Jackson Stewart. Please do not interrupt me. Yes, I've gone
Miss
on
Jackson, you know very well that I'm not trying to be rude. It's just that
You
we're
are
here to talk about
very
labor.
well. You sound
And we
very
move
rude
on
to me.
from
And I didn't come on this
labor.
call to argue with you. That's what I didn't do. I didn't come on here to argue with you. I came on here and I waited for my turn. I even allowed Richard to speak for a while on my turn before I was able to say anything. So I don't know what you call it, but I call it rude. That's exactly what I call it. I'm speaking and you're interrupting.
Maybe you and I can discuss afterwards, so that we.
Well, here's the thing, Carl. The other members do not get to see the difference, and that's the point I wanted to make. CDPH, Carl, has a whole different set of rules that CDCR does not. And I don't know if anyone has ever made the comparison, but I've worked for both, and there is a huge disparity between the two. That was the point I wanted to make before we were interrupted. Thank you, Carl. You can call me anytime.
So today is June 29th, 2022. All right, so let's go to the next caller, Mario Chacon.
Richard, can you hear me?
Loud and clear. How are you, Mario?
Well, Richard, I'm feeling better because, well, you're still here, and I appreciate that very much.
Thank you.
No, I really do, because, quite frankly, I share many other members, I want to say this, feelings that there are powerful forces behind all this, and quite frankly, you have basically taken it for the team, for all of us, and I really appreciate that, Richard, okay? Now, one of the, I'm going to say, after some discussions here, I've been hearing a lot of discussions, we all, I think we agree, Richard, we all must be united, because that's how the enemy beats us, by dividing us. And I do like what Cheryl said, we need to strategize, and I appreciate that, and I'll be calling Ron. But I'm thinking down the road that, well, I tell you, Richard, I'm gonna apply for DLC president, so that when you come in, we can go on your platform. But right now, we need to strategize, and the enemy is changing. They're changing tactics. And I agree with Cheryl. We need to re-strategize and think differently. So anyway, I just want to say thank you, Richard. That's all I want to say. And we'll talk later. Thank you.
Oh, thank you very much, Mario. So we'll go to Angela Pruitt. Go ahead, Angela.
Good evening, everybody. Okay, so, wow. I just wanted to say, well, Carl, my condolences for your friend. Then I want to say that I really appreciate Cheryl, Yolanda, Mary, all of you guys that spoke out, because I understand wholeheartedly what Cheryl was speaking on, and I was giving her a bunch of amens, because I think it was a week or so ago that I composed an email and got as many DLC presidents that I knew were backing you, Richard, and asked them if they would be willing to come on the Zoom simply so that we could talk to them and try and make some new strategies, because that last BOD meeting, I know that some people feel, okay, this is illegal, but at the same time, the beat goes on and they're moving on. So my thing of it is that we have the LC presidents in place for a reason. We've got them in place to speak for the members. But if you don't go, illegal or not, you're not speaking for your members. That means we didn't have voice because y'all didn't go. I didn't understand that. It was like shooting yourself in the foot or cutting off your nose to spite your face. And out of all respect, Richard, we all respect you. Ain't nobody trying to take your dignity. We ain't trying to change your mind on nothing. I'm not, because you're grown. You can't change grown people's minds. They do what they want to do. But the bottom line of it is that the strategy that we've been using, hell, we losing. Everybody, any fool can see that. I mean, God, me. When we gonna wake up and say, okay, we gotta do something different? They over here throwing their rocks and hiding their hands. And what we gonna do? We gonna keep ducking? No, we need to get to throwing some damn rocks too. So I didn't hear back from not one DLC president except for Cheryl Out. I don't know the other lady's name is Lorraine. I know Meriden is already there. So I wasn't even speaking to Cheryl and Mary, but I didn't give her one reply back, and that was from a lady named Lorraine, and I don't remember what her DLC was. But I was like, wow, really? That's how they feel? And in that email, I think you got a copy of it too, Richard, because Ron sent it out to all the shoot, and you were in that shoot. So my thing of it is that we can't just keep sitting back and rocking back and forth and talking about some shit being illegal when these morons over here in insurrectionists are still taking votes, taking names, shutting people down. Listen, like Betty said, they might mute you if you're speaking, but they still got to count your vote.
So, wait,
sitting right there, if you're sitting right there, Richard, and you know what you voted for, and you're counting, because they're all in there saying, no, yes,
so,
yes, no.
right, so Angela, someone brought this to my attention. Since March 5th, with all these illegal meetings, because I know my videos are being watched, and everything I say is going to be used against me, for me or against me. Since March 5th, with all these illegal meetings, all these different proposals that they've done, has the Secretary-Treasurer, David Jimenez, has he provided meeting notes to tell you on how people voted?
What does that got to do with it, Richard?
I'm just asking you for transparency. You keep. Well, hold on a second. I want people to understand something. When I took office on June 30th, I was being hit from every direction on make everyone get vaccinated. And I said, I will not do that because it's not right. And I held my ground. I held my ground so hard and so strong that CCPOA, that represent the correctional officers in CDCR, they started following my lead.
Okay, what's your point?
And then I held my ground on the teleworker. You know, they said, just take the 50 and 25. I said, no, it's not right. It's not enough money. We did the survey twice, and I held my ground. And I was right. So, not to cut you off, go ahead, Angela.
Okay, I get it all there, Richard. We know what you did.
Okay.
We know what you were trying to do.
Okay.
That's why you got my vote in the first damn place. That's it. Right now, what I'm talking about is a whole new total agenda. I'm talking about, I understand you guys want to keep saying that this is illegal. But right now, it ain't illegal because they got a temporary or interim leadership in there that's continuing to move forward while we sitting back still hollering about some shit being illegal.
Again, you know, when that black man down south in Louisiana and Angola, Vincent Simmons, when he said and held his ground that I did not rape those two women, And after 44 years, they still want him to admit something, even though they was going to let him out, and he held his ground.
Okay.
Okay, so that's how that is.
Please let me-
That's how that is,
No,
Angela.
it's not. No, it's
You know,
not.
I think it's very similar, but from your viewpoint, Angela, from your viewpoint, that's how you see it. I didn't get elected by trying to appease everybody. I got elected with my 10-point platform that I have stayed true to, period.
Richard, listen, I've gone up against people that's done a whole lot of crap and shitty things to me too.
Okay,
But my thing of it was is I didn't sit back
right.
and wait for
And what makes you think,
them to not-
but-
wait
but-
a
but-
minute.
I'm sorry,
Wait
I'm
a
sorry.
minute.
Go
No,
ahead.
let me finish.
Okay.
What makes you think that I sat back and waited for their next course of action? I got to take a course of action too. So I got to do what I got to do. I'm not sitting back holding my hand over, wait, but let me see what they're going to do to me. Hell to the now.
Okay.
No. Let me see what I'm fit to do to them.
All right.
So all I'm saying is the strategy, Richard,
Yes.
that has been going on since March
Right.
from all the quote unquote illegal meetings
Right.
has killed us.
No, it hasn't killed. No, wait a minute. Hold on. Wait. Hold on a second. Angela, wait a minute. When you use the words "killed us," refer to yourself. Don't refer to me in that. It hasn't killed me.
He's referring to the members. That we
Oh, okay. Because not all the members felt that we've been killed. Some people feel that they've been demoralized.
We're down in the battle right now.
Oh, okay. But that's your opinion for some people. Everyone doesn't feel the same way, Angela.
Okay, but everybody don't have to feel the same way.
Okay.
Everybody up in there. Okay, let's take for example, Richard. That last board of directors meeting. Everybody in there didn't think the same way either.
Okay.
You had some on the right side, some on the left side, and some that was straddling the fence. But the ones that was over here on your side lost to the ones over there that wasn't on your side because your side had people sitting at home and shit, frying fish, barbecuing, whatever the hell they was doing instead of being at that meeting. Now, the thing about it is that I don't care how you look at it, how you slice it, you know, but I'm not boo-boo the fool. I ain't stupid. All I know is that what we have been doing is not working for the members. It's not working. When I say us means members. We got DLC presidents there to speak for the members. Not to speak just for you, Richard, but for the members.
Okay, Angela.
Damn DLC president. No way. Because one thing I noticed, Richard, is, and I'm going to say this, and I'm going to have to go with Betty on this. Evie can get on here and talk all night long, and you don't say nothing. Somebody else come in, and you want to jump in. Don't do that, Richard. Please don't do that. She was right. Everybody can get on here and talk long as she wants to. Nobody says nothing because I don't know what that was about the thing she had going on with Carl, but I sat here patiently and I waited and I listened and I watched you and you didn't interrupt. So please don't do that to me. That's all I gotta say.
All right, so we'll go to, you know what? It's 8:02.
Okay, Bill.
And, no, okay, go ahead, Mary. Go ahead and talk, Mary. Go ahead.
You're the only one talking about the time. We can-
No, because
we have
listen,
to help move.
hold on.
Come on, let's go.
Okay, so listen, I
Go
am a
ahead.
DLC president. I am a voice of the member. I am a vote. Just like Cheryl and some of us DLC presidents that are fighting for members. When I reached out, we talked about uniting, being in solidarity. I reached out to board members. And, you know, per Richard's email, don't go, don't attend. You know, Yolanda, you sounded shocked that your dues are now paying for Bill Hall's Union League, FISA and all that. Well, we lost that vote because they were directed by Richard not to attend to vote. And if we're stifling the vote of our members, how can we move forward to win the battles that we need to win? That's all I'm saying. If I'm out there with Cheryl carrying a 50-pound sack of potatoes and I'm asking my brothers and sisters for help, and they're saying, sorry, you keep coding that on your own, there's a problem. said, yes, don't go, Mary, to that meeting. Don't be my voice. Don't be my vote. Haven't met one, Richard, not a one. Everyone said, Mary, you go and tell them no. You go and vote no. I don't agree with that. So I'm going and voting no. I'm not sure what all these other presidents are not showing up. How are they being a voice extended for their members and their vote? Thank you for taking my call.
All right. So listen, let's go back to Angela Pruitt for a second. Let's go back to Angela.
All right, you still got two hands.
You know, I see. I'll lower Mary's hand, and I see your hand, but I want to go back to Angela Pruitt for a second. Is she still there?
Yes.
Angela ain't going nowhere. She's still
Okay. Okay. So Angela, I want you to go on and finish out your thought.
unmute, Angela.
Oh, I'm sorry. Yeah, unmute yourself, Angela. I want you to finish out your thoughts.
I muted myself because I was getting a little heated, and I don't like to get there. And I didn't have anything more to say except for, like I said, I made my point. But the point of it is that the DLC presidents are there to represent their members. If they don't go, whether the meetings are legal, illegal, bamboozle, shamrod, I don't care what you call it. They were not there to speak for us. I'm appalled by that. I'm upset. I reached out to them. They didn't even bother to either say, no, we ain't coming, no, forget you, dog, cat, horse, whatever. And I know that you have asked them not to go because these meetings are illegal. The bottom line of it is, illegal or not, these people are changing the bylaws, changing the policies, giving our money and stuff away. How the hell do you expect to retain the members? And then you'll say, oh no, don't leave the union yet, Angela. Don't do this yet, don't do that yet. Why? Because he ain't getting my little $90 to go, and it costs $100 and some dollars just to fill up my tank. So then I'm gonna give him $90 for instead of a year. You understand what I'm saying? But we can't keep harping on the fact that these meetings, these board of directors meetings, are illegal because these people are steady moving forward with SEIU International on their side. But if we don't have our presidents and functions up there that help speak for their members, we ain't gonna get nowhere. And ain't nowhere in the hell I would stay in a union like that. There's no way. Point blank, period.
And Richard, I believe, I feel like there are some things we've done as members and that maybe we didn't agree with, but that is the way you wanted us to move forward. I believe that, when you look around, do you believe all of us around, all of us are saying the same thing? Everyone. And you disagree with us. Everyone else is saying the same thing. Can you come to a meeting? Can you attend a meeting and vote as the issues come down and see for yourself whether or not it makes a difference instead of just holding out? Because I understand your conviction. I really do. I have convictions. There are certain things I'm not going to do and certain things I'm not going to change the way I move forward completing those, whatever it is. However, in this sense, you have many people who have rocked with you from day one, and all of them are saying, Richard, can we please do it this way?
Wait, hold on.
And the members say, could you move forward?
Wait,
with
Betty,
us?
Betty, hold on, Betty. Wait a minute, Betty. And I was stopping Angela. That's how you and Angela and people on this Zoom call feel. But I get calls from people every day saying, hold my ground. So not everybody who rocked me from day one is telling me to go to that meeting. That's not true.
Okay, well,
Hold the ground people on this call right now, Richard.
Again, just because people, hold on, wait a minute, hold on, Ron. Ron, just because someone doesn't come to this call doesn't mean they don't support.
We're rocking.
Right, but Ron,
But you're telling us what somebody else said.
what I'm telling you, Ron, look, can I finish my train of thought? Can I finish my train of thought?
Richard, pull this crew right now.
Right.
Us
So,
who are supporting you.
right,
Us
but what I'm
who are
telling you is this. A lot of people who support me don't come to these calls. And just like when I was asking, I said, well, all these DLC presidents and bunk chairs who support me haven't put their names up on Facebook. And then Betty said, no, she doesn't agree with that. Okay, so a lot of people who support me won't come to these calls. So you don't know who are supporting me versus the small group of people who come to the Zoom tonight and on my Wednesday nights that say, hey, we want you to go to the meeting, when many other people are saying, no, don't go to those meetings.
So Richard, go ahead and take a poll with this call.
No, because this call, you're saying that people on this call want me to go. I respect that. But there's many other people outside of this call who are saying they don't want me to go.
Let me just say what I was going to say, because I guess we're honest.
My hand is not that I want to speak, but
Right.
my hand is up because I believe you should go to the meeting. You should attend the meeting.
Okay. And listen. A lot of people.
Richard,
Yeah. Hey,
everybody.
go ahead, Ron.
Everybody spoke very emphatically.
Mm-hmm.
Cheryl Allen, so many, Betty, Angela, all Mary. Everybody spoke and it seems as if everybody's in tandem. We're walking in tandem, but then the leader. And I'll tell you like this: this is not what Burger King. Can't have it our way. You can't have it both ways. If it's gonna be we, then it needs to be we. Ain't no I in team. That means you too. So when you have and Richard, you and I, from the beginning, I don't want to be like I told you so, because had we listened to some stuff from the beginning, we wouldn't be where we are now. If we would have gotten rid of some people, that the Bible says, "In the multitude of counsel shall all things be established." Okay. Second thing it says, "Having done all to stand."
And it also says in the Bible that sometimes the wolves comes in sheep's clothing. So we can quote Bible verses too. Yeah, that is true. That is true.
They're the wolves in sheep's clothing, but they say
Okay.
they speak of God who always causes.
And they say patience work of the you need patience and long suffering. And so sometimes
Richard, you can go back and forth.
You should.
One can put 1,000 to flight, but two can put 10,000 to flight.
Okay.
So that means what we can do together
Right.
is much bigger than what you can do with your. Sometimes my mom used to say, since I like Cheryl Allen using what we were told, and she used to say a hard head makes a soft behind.
Yes, that's true.
When we're hard, when we get so damn hard headed,
Right.
we crack our skull.
Right.
You'll be the only one left standing in the room.
Right.
Eventually, and be like, where'd everybody go? Because nobody can get through to you. But we're here, we're still holding on, and I agree with Angela and those that said we're holding on by a thread because we get beat the hell up. Now, I'm the one that posted in support of us when a lot of the happening people were quitting and jumping ship. I said, look, we may lose the battle, but we won't lose the war. We won't lose the war if our leader is in sync with the what do you call a war plan, with the strategy, the war plan. We got to have the strategy. Now we're here trying to strategize tonight. I don't want to come on a meeting, one more meeting, and talk about the way we were and how we get beat the hell up. I need to know, leaving this meeting tonight, what the hell are we going to do as a unified front? We can't even get from you an okay, y'all, I will attend them. This is what I'm saying.
Wait, stop right there. Hold on one second.
No, let me finish because you stopped other people and then it turned out. When I finish this time, I'm going to let you respond to everybody. But let me just say this, that we cannot stand back and keep letting them beat us up. And then we got strategy we can be doing on a unified front. And the other thing is that we need to get this class action thing done so that all they've been doing was having their giant
And we need to be proactive and not reactive. That's what I'm saying.
Absolutely.
I'm sorry, Mark.
And all I'm gonna say is, being an alpha male, like you, I'm just as hard hit. But look, you can't leave me and be weak. I think your presence in the meeting is strong. If you sit there, you on Bill Hall's call, and you put your hand up in queue, let us get in there. Let them answer Mary or answer somebody else who say, hey, I just raised my hand because I see our president's hand up, and you did not acknowledge him. So I'm going to give my speech now, my 2 minutes over to President Brown and let him speak. You got to be everywhere. Something that's got SEIU Local 1000 on it. You should be there present because the members didn't vote for a weak leader. The members voted for you to stand there and fight this through. You owe it to the members to be present. You owe it to them. Now I'm done.
All right. Does DLC 772 President Mary Dela Cruz have anything to add?
You're muted, Mary.
I'm gonna turn my time over to Cheryl Allen. Go ahead, sister.
I'm sorry.
I'm sorry. Go ahead, Evie. Your hand was raised. Go ahead.
Oh, well, hold on, then I'm gonna speak. I'm gonna speak then.
No,
No, Evie, mute yourself. There you go, Richard.
No.
Well, keep
I'm
waiting.
sorry.
Keep
Look.
waiting. He acknowledged me.
Okay, Mary,
Keep waiting. Be
Mary,
respectful.
I don't know what the issue
Well,
is
listen,
with
you're
me,
the
but
issue
I
right now. You're the issue right now, Evie.
No,
I was
there is
acknowledged.
Okay, y'all. Let's
No,
get right in
no.
now.
See, for some reason you choose to attack me when you say we're supposed to all
Oh,
work
you know
together.
what? Listen, Evie,
you're
you're
not
too
trying to
slimy.
work.
You too
Better.
sleazy and slimy. You know what? No,
Okay.
acknowledge me.
Whatever,
I was
Mary.
gonna give my
Whatever.
time. Yes,
Whatever,
thank you,
Mary.
Evie. Thank you, Evie.
Hey, you're welcome. Okay,
So-
moving on. Like I was saying.
Okay, like I was
I
saying.
appreciate-
Okay,
I
this is what
Ladies,
we're
come
gonna
on,
do.
y'all. Come on, y'all.
Okay, no, listen. You know what? She's
Exactly.
supposed to be
Some
military.
respect,
You
give
definitely
respect.
didn't learn anything
Hey,
in the military.
hey,
Okay?
Some respect, you have to respect, Mary.
Don't
You're not the
disrespect
only
me
person
either.
on the call.
Don't respect me
You're not-
either.
no,
Don't
you
respect
are
me
the only
either.
person on the call.
No. Okay, so
No,
anyway,
so
yes, I will
you
take over
you
this
want-
time, Richard,
you want
because you know
respect,
what?
you
I'm
respect,
gonna
Mary.
tell you
No,
that
sorry,
you
Mary,
have
but that
been-
doesn't go, no.
Hold
It's
on,
just like-
Evie. President Brown
gonna
gave
keep
her the
talking.
floor, Evie.
I'm gonna keep
President
talking.
Brown gave her the
Because you
floor,
know what?
Evie.
You guys have come over and taken over the meeting. Everybody on here has been waiting patiently for you guys to have your turn. So now give other people a turn.
Okay, at the end of the line, I was acknowledged, you weren't, so, go ahead and get at the end of the line.
Well,
or
you
wait till
say
get
you
in
had
line.
nothing to
Wait,
say.
Mary, go ahead and let her
You
speak.
had
Let's-
nothing to say.
Okay, you know
So
what,
then-
Miss
so then you have nothing to say. So you can go ahead and have nothing to say, Mary.
Mary,
You
you're
know what
bigger
problem
than
you
that.
have?
Mary,
Oh my God, knock it off.
Mary, you're
Okay?
bigger than that.
Let your problem be
Mary,
your
stop.
problem and not the group's problem.
Mary, stop. You know what, Richard, tell me who you hang with, and I'll tell you where you're at.
Mary, look, there are a lot of people on this
Don't
call.
address me, don't address me.
Okay, well, I'm addressing the
What you
group.
say.
I'm addressing
Okay.
the group. So you can go ahead and mute yourself. So,
No.
like I was saying, there are a lot of people on this call who have strong feelings. Don't attack each other. You know, I really want to be able to give you the same respect that you give me. So I will always
respect.
I would just hope that we take Richard. Can we take this off Facebook and let's just
No. We're going to keep it going live. Let it go live. Let it go live.
Okay, then we'll go ahead and put it out there. No, I'm not sleeping with Richard.
So if you want to strategize, let's start.
Mary, go ahead and let her
Oh
speak,
my
Mary.
God.
Because of this. Because of
Ah.
Mary, let
Put
her
the laundry out. I'm fine
This
with
is the
it.
reason.
Let's put the laundry out. I'm good with
This
this.
is the
Mary,
reason.
just let her speak. Get it out.
Okay, well, as long as she speaks
Exactly.
and quit,
Because from
as long as you got
from
something important to
7:20
say.
to 8:20, I've been waiting. I've even given over my time to other people
Okay,
who have
quit
not
crying,
spoken.
quit crying.
But you
Go
have
ahead and
spoken
speak.
multiple times, Mary.
So-
And this is not the Mary show.
So hold on one second. Hey, hold on. Hold on 1 second. Hold on 1 second. Hold on 1 second. I see people on Facebook. They said they have questions and concerns. So just hold on, Mary and Evie and Cheryl. So anyone on Facebook, send me your question right now, and I'll repeat your question in front of the Zoom. I wish people on Facebook would all come to the Zoom so it'd make it a lot easier. But
The public can
So,
ask.
so President
Yeah.
Brown, I just wanted to point out
Yeah,
before we move
haven't been
on.
acknowledged,
if possible.
so, you know,
So
we're
President
gonna
Brown-
have a mute us all, President Brown.
oh, sorry. So hold on.
President Brown, I would like to.
This ain't gonna work.
Hold on 1 second. Hold on. Wait. Just wait 1 second. Does anyone on Facebook have a question to ask? So Cheryl, I'm sorry, not
I
Cheryl.
just wanted to point out that John Fox.
I know.
is
Yeah, I know.
for over an hour.
Yeah, I know that. I know that, Evie. I know that. I know that John Fox has been here. And everybody that's on this.
He's on here, sir.
Right.
I just wanted to point out that he had his hand up for over an hour. He was never called.
Oh, okay. I didn't see.
We have all spoken.
Okay, so hold on. Okay, so hold on a second.
I'm glad she's in charge.
Hold on. Nobody's in charge. I called this Zoom call tonight. So if John Fox wants to raise his hand, he's always free to raise his hand. See, everybody has my phone number. Everybody can call me anytime they want. So I'm asking people on Facebook if they have any questions, because I'm trying to keep up with the text on Facebook right now. And so tonight was the first time where I see people could talk about union issues or non-union issues, and a lot of things has come out tonight. If I cut someone off tonight, then I apologize. I did my very best. I was hoping everybody could talk in 2 minutes or less, but I know sometimes it's hard for people to talk 2 minutes or less. So I'm looking to see if anyone else has any questions on Facebook. So, I see a thing about the problems at hand. And the problem at hand is that, quote, the membership voted. And the person that won came as a shock to a lot of people. And people thought that I was just saying things to get elected, but I wasn't. And so when people make the comment about I need to get in the sandbox and I need to get into this politics and get dirty and do what I have to do to win, some people will do that. Some people will get dirty and they'll do anything they can to win, to do what they have to do. That's what some people will do. And those people are called politicians. All right, so wait, I see Cheryl. Why is Richard being shut out of the process and we're only receiving half of it? So Cheryl, I keep saying Cheryl. The person on Facebook, I'm trying to say her name correctly, Cheryl Ann. Why am I being shut out of the process? Because Local 1000 does not want me around. And now, and so you won't get any of the information. They'll only give you what they want you to have. So now I see Diane Jacobson. What would you do? Like for us to do? What would you like for us to do? Diane Jacobson, you have my phone number. Just give me a phone call. Just give me a phone call. I said at the very beginning of this Zoom tonight on June 29, 2022, that, don't discuss strategy on video when I'm doing it on Facebook. I said that quite clearly. All right, so if I don't see any more questions from Facebook, then I'm going to go back to... All right, so I see Evie's hand, Cheryl's hand, Mary's hand. Whose hand was raised first?
Thank you, President Brown. There were a few things that were said that I'd like to go back to, if possible. And I'll try to keep it under 2 minutes or less, so that other people can have a chance. I think there was something that was said by, I think it was Carl, concerning color. Hold on 1 second, let me just go back to my notes. Oh, I'm sorry. Going on my notes, I had a question. So someone had talked about the meetings and the meetings that, the board meetings that we attended or that they attended. Is it possible for those individuals to find out the members who voted yes to Billy Bob getting union leave and getting his lawyers paid for by the union? Because we really need to know who those DLC presidents were that voted yes to that. I think that's a good starting point so that we can have actions against those individuals also. So if you attended those meetings, and I hear a lot of people talking about let's act, let's do something, I think that would be a great place to start, getting some action against those people that attended the meetings and voted for this illegal action that happened, where we are now paying union dues our union dues are going to pay for a lawyer who is suing us. So, thank you, President Brown. That's one of my questions, but I'll let the next person go.
Okay, so that's a great question. So I'll answer this real quick before we go to DLC 768 President Cheryl Allen. Charles Ann is asking, who is Bill? Billy is the DLC 744 president. That's who he is. He ran unopposed. 33 of the 51 DLC presidents ran unopposed and got elected with not one single vote. So that's who that is. All right, so now we'll go back here to President Allen. Go ahead, President Allen.
Thank you. I just want to I want to impress the importance of two things. Well, it's actually more than two, but I'll start off with two things. First and foremost, at this stage in the game, it is imperative that we stay not only focused but on topic. Going at each other or coming at each other is just not only does it further perpetuate the divide that already taken over this union, but what it does is it validates what it is that they've already said about Richard and or those of us who have chosen to support him. That's first things first. We all have an opinion. We all are correct in our opinions, and neither one of us has the capacity or the right to insinuate that somebody is or isn't wrong. And that is a blanket statement generalized for everyone, those of us who are here as well as those of us who are on Facebook. So it's nothing personal against anyone here. But I would say, and be clear, we are not talking strategy. I can give you the difference between talking strategy and basically just making comments and speaking what is on our mind. And at this point, that's what we're doing. We are speaking what's on our mind. Now, to talk strategy would be, okay, Cheryl, this is what you're going to do in your DLC. Miss Mary, you will do this. You will be responsible for that. Ron, we need you to do this, that, or the third. That's talking strategy. At this particular point, we're not talking strategy. So if someone is under the impression that we are talking strategy, then therein lies half of the problem. We have to get a better grasp and understanding of what it is to move, to make a move and move this particular movement. Okay, this is a campaign. This campaign is to return Richard to his seat, period. That's the campaign. Now, in every campaign and in everything that you do, there needs to be a leader. Not a leader to show off, not a leader to be rude, crude, or anything else, but somebody who can not only share what the goals and the plans are, but somebody who can make sure that those checks and balances of those plans and of those end goals are adhered to and met. Because like a fine moving or an antique clock, everything has to move in synchronized and syncopated movement. It has to move together. One person can't do while the other person doesn't. One function cannot work while the other part doesn't. So it has to be a synchronized system and plan in order for you to achieve your goal. Last but not least, somebody said one time, a long time ago, that the strength of our union literally begins with you and I. So if you take the time out to spell what the word, or to spell union, it literally is UNIO.
Take your time.
So we have to make sure that in our movements and doing and whatever it is that we're trying to do in moving forward, that it consists of you and I. We cannot do it alone. Okay? And if Richard, if you're the leader, then I'm gonna need you to lead. You're gonna lead, then you got to lead. There's not room for you to sit back and not lead. Okay? And here's the thing. For every good leader, they always have to take into consideration the consensus of those that they're leading. If you're not, then what you are at that point is a dictator. And this is not a dictatorship. This is a membership. So you have to take into consideration the things that people are saying, whether you agree with them, like them, think that they will or won't work. You have to take it into consideration, and it would benefit not only you, but the members who absolutely support you. It would benefit you to give it a try, to don't shoot it down just because it's not what you thought, to not discredit it just because it's not what you've done in the past. Because, as you stated, you won. You absolutely won.
One quick question. When is the next board meeting?
August, I think it was.
August? Okay, go ahead.
So the what I want to wrap this up in saying is just plain and simple. While you won with the membership, the fight is with the board of directors. Okay? So we have to come to some type of understanding of where your fight is, where your battle is, and then move to fight that fight accordingly. Now, I'm not talking about slinging mud. I'm not talking about doing anything that you find, is against your character or your moral fiber. It's nothing about that. But you have to adjust accordingly. You cannot take a knife to a gunfight. Okay? So, that with all of that said, that's just it. That's all I have to say. Thank you.
You're very welcome. So we're going to go back to President Mary De La Cruz, and then we're going to go to, I thought Eugene Debs had his hand raised. All right, so go, and then I see Evie Lynch again. So I'll say, go ahead, Mary.
Thank you for acknowledging me. I just want to share with everybody here that every single one of you can register to attend those board of directors meetings. If you're not getting the invite, call the MRC and let them know that you want the invite to register. I know some of you here were on that board of directors, so you can hear for yourself what takes place. Anything that is not behind closed doors, you can hear the votes, you can hear what takes place, you can hear the comments. And for me, I'm just going to put it out there for Evie to ask, can you do this, can you do that? She had every right to attend. She chose not to. And so now she's wanting information. You need to attend and get your own information. Don't rely on other people. Go for yourself and get the information. I encourage each and every one of you. Call the MRC, get on that list, and they will send you out the link so that you too can attend and listen to how those things go down. That's all I wanted to say. Thank you.
Okay, thank you very much. Wait, I want to answer this question online by Diane Jacobson. I see you, Diane, and I see everyone online. I'm trying to keep up with you and with Zoom here. She's asking, how can the board override the president? And so when you have...
Let Cheryl answer that. Since I'm married, that's to stay on the board when they don't think it's coming from you.
Okay. Yeah. All right. Go ahead, Cheryl or Mary.
Okay. I will, if you wouldn't mind repeating that question.
Sure. Hold on. Wait. Let me go back down here. Diane Jacobson on Facebook asked, how can I explain why the board can override the president? And so what is your opinion of that?
So my opinion with how the board was able to override and take care of the president is because, as you referenced frequently throughout this meeting, there was a board meeting that was not sanctioned by you as the president, which therefore made it illegal. it was in that meeting that the proposal was made and the initial changes to the bylaws and the policy files was made, where we let the door close on us was the next meeting when we did not attend as a collective group and supporter of President Brown. When we did not attend that meeting, they were able, by way of a majority vote of the board, legalize not only that meeting, but legalize the creation of the board chair, legalize appointing him to that chair, and then at the same time move to legalize the changes that were made to the policy file and the bylaws, which then justified their illegal actions and made them legal. That's what I was speaking to initially when I said it started off illegal, but now it's legal.
So Diane Jacobson, what President Allen was saying is basically by the vote of the board, everything that they've done that was illegal has now been made legal. And so Diane Jacobson, let me say this to you. There's more to that, and I'll leave it at that. So, all right. So we will go to, I see hand raised. Oh, Evie Lynch. Go ahead, Evie.
Thank you, President Brown. I wanted to respond to Mary's comment about the board meeting. And yes, Mary, you're right. I would have loved to have been at that meeting. I registered. I did everything that I was supposed to do, yet I did not receive the link. I even asked for people to send me the link on our group chat during the meeting. That never happened. So, yes, I agree with you. I should have attended. I was barred from attending. I was not sent the link, and I reached out. It never happened. So, maybe next time it will. In the meantime, that information I would still love to receive because I'm a member. And as a member, I think we all have a right to know who voted on what and what those numbers are. Since you, as a fellow member, attended that meeting, or any person who attended that meeting, any DLC president or bunk chair or anyone who has that information, I would love to receive it from you. Because I'm not looking to separate, I'm looking to unite. I want to be in this fight with all of you. I'm not going to attack you. I know that we are all very passionate people and we all have our differences in opinion, and I respect that. At the end of the day, we want our union to be our union and not the union of Billy Bob. So I'm willing to work with whoever is willing to work with me. Those numbers will help us moving forward. And like Cheryl Allen said, we have to stay focused. This little infighting that I have just been a part of is not productive. So I would like for whoever wants to fight against the egregious takeover of our union, whoever wants to join me in fighting against them, please help me to get that information. Help us to move forward. My phone number, 424-488-6067. I'm looking to make sure that our union is once again our union and not theirs. So thank you for giving me this time, President Brown.
Oh, you're very welcome. And so before I go back...
Never put a number in the chat. She put a number in.
Okay. So before I go back to Betty Jackson Stewart, someone on Facebook, so if it's illegal, how are they able to actually take you to court on that? Stay tuned, because this is not over with yet. All right, so
Richard, let them know, educate them that they're union.
hold on a second, Ron. That person has my number. They know how to call me. All right, so Betty, go ahead, Betty.
This is all I would like to say.
Okay.
This call is a call for us to be productive, speak, convey the information that is on our mind, share information, and it is a way for us to move forward and be better. And I don't know what's going on, and I've never had a problem with union members on this side of the fence where the bickering and the arguing back and forth. However, I just want to state this. I was offended when EB came in and interrupted the communication between myself and the gentleman, I believe his name is Carl.
That's correct.
Who was answering the questions regarding the color vendor, or the vendor by the name of color. And moving forward, I hope that never happens again. I've never interrupted Evie when she's speaking. There are days where, we might unmute because someone is making a point, and that was a point we wanted to make, so we piggyback off them and get off. But this is like a family atmosphere. It always has been. And tonight, I did not feel that way. And so I'm stating here and now, from myself, I did not appreciate that, and moving forward, that should never happen again. At least not with me, because I don't appreciate it, and that isn't the way I move. And I've always had a decent relationship with everyone on this call. And if something personal is going on, pick up the telephone and contact me. But do not come after me in this forum, because I'm gonna call you out on it. So that's all I want to say. That should never happen again, Richard. Thank you.
Okay, so let's go back to Evie. Go ahead.
Thank you, President Brown. Ms. Jackson, I have nothing against you. If anything, I have held you at the most highest respect level that I have. Me interrupting was simply stating, hey, brother, sister, which is what I said from the beginning. Is there a way that we can move on, because there are people who have been waiting a while? If that was offensive, I apologize. That was not my intention. Like I said before, my goal here is to work with everybody against the takeover of our union. I'm not here to battle with my brothers and sisters in this fight. So no, I have nothing against anybody on here. If anything, I want to make sure that I am supportive of everybody, including those, for whatever reason, are not able to speak. So if I see that we have people in the chat, I speak up, because as a steward, that's what I do. And I think you guys have done that in previously, where you spoke up and said, hey, can you have Mary speak because she's been waiting? Or can you have Betty speak because she's been waiting? She had her hand up for a while. And I respected that. I did the same for others in the chat, because they had their hands up for a while, and I saw that they put them down, put them back up, and put them down again. So no, Ms. Jackson, if I offended you in doing that, please accept my apology. That was not my intention. However, I try to speak up for people when I see that there's something that they are not able to speak up. If they're not able to speak up for themselves, and I see that that is going on and on, I do speak up. That's it. Nothing else. Much love. Thank you.
Okay, so I see Mary's hand is back up. So go ahead, President De La Cruz.
Thank you. As things are coming to my mind, I just want everybody here to know that we did not get through all the agenda items at the last Board of Directors meeting. The agenda items we did get through were, the ones that you were made aware of. And some of the agenda items, one of them that was posed was removing the chair seat, or Bill from his seat. So that being said, there's an opportunity to unite, to come together to that Board of Directors meeting, to get every vote possible to strike that down or to pass it so he gets removed. And so again, I will encourage, and I'm glad everybody's on here so you can hear us. I'll do it. I don't have a problem begging. I'm begging all the Board of Directors, that can attend that meeting. Please come. We need your vote.
So
I know. Oh, wait a minute. I'm not done. I know President Brown sent out an email. Don't attend. Don't go. he says he don't speak for anybody, but he sent out that email telling them not to go. So I did ask him to retract that, to tell him to please go, to be a vote, because if you, those of us as DLC presidents, if we don't go and vote yes or no, we can't say we're representing our members because we're not voting and voicing their concern. And like I said, that's coming up, and we have an opportunity to remove him off that seat. And so, please, President Brown, I'm, asking you, send out another email and tell those DLC presidents, like you did the last one, to attend and do a, yes, let's vote him out. Thank you.
So let me say this again. I'm being sued by Bill Hall.
President Brown,
Hold on a second. This is my Ron. This is my Zoom call. I don't need you to monitor my call. So hold on, Ron, please. Ron, let me run my Zoom, please. If you want to put that.
You're asking for people to speak.
All right, so we're gonna end this Zoom call because when I'm asking to run a Zoom and I'm trying to quote run a Zoom and people keep interrupting me, then there's a problem. So I'm gonna say this one last time. Let me run the Zoom. And if people don't like the way I run the Zoom, because to be honest, I'm shocked that this many people came tonight. I really am. Now, John Fox is on here. John Fox knows I'm being sued by Bill Hall. And my position is that these meetings are illegal. And when I go to court one day, I'll say the same thing in court. So everything I say, everything I send out has to be consistent. All right, Angela Pruitt. Go ahead, Angela. Oh, wait, I'm sorry. Angela, we'll come back to you. We'll come to Ron. But we'll go to Lorraine. I see her hand raised. I'm sorry. Go ahead, Lorraine.
Good evening, President Brown.
Good
My
evening.
question was in relation to what Mary mentioned earlier about the motion or proposal by the board to unseat Bill Hall as the chairman. So if I may just clarify, who gets to vote on that motion? Are all union members eligible to cast their vote to unseat him, or is that only solely for board of director members?
So
or
that-
presidents?
So Lorraine, that's only for the members on the board, the DLC presidents and bunk chairs. And then, when they say these things about trying to unseat Bill, so I don't know if anybody has ever saw the agenda where it says, are they, quote, eliminating the chair position altogether because it's an illegal position, or are they just trying to say just vacate it and let somebody else run for it? I don't know what they're really up to because the story changes. So, all right. So we'll go back to Angela.
Okay, I was just looking in the chat where somebody was saying that they have been asking their DLC. I know Edie was saying that she was asking for whatever happened in that board of directors meeting, but a lot of I know one of my DLC president is not a Richard supporter. I know that, so I already know I'm not going to get anything from him. So you can keep trying to get them to do things, but I can tell you just by observing all this mess that's been going on, if you're waiting on your DLC president who is not a supporter of Richard, you probably are not going to get it. So I don't know what else to tell you about that. The other thing of it is, Evie, that was big of you to extend your apology to Betty, but I have to make the comment is that, some people are long-winded, and, people have to take a look at themselves too, because Betty was right. You apologized, that was good. But the bottom line of it is some people are long-winded, and a lot of times you'll talk a long time too, but we have to be mindful that, when we do things like that, it does offend other people when you just break in and interrupt. So just, sometimes you got to look at the man in the mirror. So thank you.
Oh, okay. Thank you very much, Angela. So we'll go back to Ron. Go ahead, Ron. Oh, okay. So you want Carl to talk right now? Carl, you want to talk?
Carl, go ahead. He's been trying to raise his
Okay.
hand, but I'll talk after him.
Okay. Go ahead, Carl.
I wasn't trying to interrupt. I was just curious on how to do that, and I found out what I was doing wrong. I don't want to interrupt anybody and let other people have the time. Thank you very much, and to be honest with you, I'm praying for each and every one of you because
Thank
this
you.
is really passion for everybody.
Yeah. And you know what, Carl? Carl, when you pray for everyone, you make sure you pray a little extra for me. I'm not trying to be selfish, but some of us need it more than others. And as Betty articulated, you know, when family get into it, they always tell the neighbors, stay out of it. Because the family try to kill each other and then they turn around and unite and then try to come for you. When I say kill each other, I don't mean kill as in murder. I mean kill as in they're showing a lot of love and energy. Make sure that that word is not misconstrued. Okay. Okay.
So,
So go ahead, Ron.
yeah, I don't know if they used to publish I think what you were asking for, President Brown, is the vote count. We used to get that from the Secretary Treasurer after the Board of Directors.
Right.
Because he's the one that polls the votes. And so if people are not paying attention, but I agree with Evie in that we should plaster those names for who made this happen, because their DLC may not even be aware that their president voted in for their money to go to those areas. So I agree it would be good to get a hold of the voters list. That's one thing. The other thing is if you all know how to try to take screenshots of some of the chat where we've shared numbers. Also, I put 5 links in the chat about the cases where the members are bringing cases against their union. And that's all I'll say. And as far as this much, as some of us strategize with our attorney going forward, there is an organization that is helping Michigan SEIU because they're suing their union for serious financial malpractice. And it was about misappropriating their union dues and all of that. So if we get in contact with that same organization in that article that is helping SEIU Michigan, we may be able to get somewhere. That's all I wanted to say.
All right, so we'll go back to Evie. Go ahead, Evie.
Thank you, President Brown. Thank you, Miss Angela, for your advice. I appreciate that because I know it's coming from a good place. And yes, you're right. I can be long-winded at times. My daughter tells me that a lot of times. So I appreciate that. But you know what? I think we all can. Most of us on this chat are very passionate, and we start talking, and sometimes it feels like we've only been talking for a few seconds, but it goes on and on and on and on. So yes, I will look at the woman in the mirror when I speak, and I think it's good for all of us to do the same. Let's see, I did have a question. Let me see. Oh, shoot. Dang. Oh, I want to have a shout out, send a shout out to Miss Cheryl. UNI won. So, union. You and I won. I like that. That was really good. If anybody knows when the next board meeting is, because as I don't know if the rest of you have noticed, we are getting less and less information from our so-called administrative panel that calls themselves, our leaders. I would like to know when we are supposed to have this next board meeting. And if anyone is interested, like I said before, and I'm gonna keep saying, I want to work with whoever wants to get our union out of the hands of these people and back into the members' hands where it belongs. So my phone number, 424-488-6067, 424-488-6067. Thank you, President Brown.
Oh, you're very welcome. So tonight was You know, I'm always taking notes. Was an interesting night. Everybody has strong opinions. And, you know, as, was it Mary or was it Betty that said we have to respect people's opinions, or maybe it was Angela. I can't remember who made that statement about respecting people's opinions. And, you know, a lot of times, you know, people may think that when a person is holding their ground and standing by their integrity, that may come across as being hard-headed. And then they'll say, well, go by the consensus. You know, it's interesting about that because, you know, in 1898, Plessy versus Ferguson, they said separate was equal. And that was, you know, the court was really representing the consensus of America. And in 54, when the Supreme Court said that, hey, separate, or Brown versus Board of Education, that's not right, separate and equal is not right, the board went against the consensus of America. So sometimes it's easy when people say, hey, the consensus is to do this. Well, a lot of times, you know, people may gather up in the consensus to do something that's not right. But this is very, you know, this is about people's opinions. So, I see Mary, President De La Cruz's hand is raised. So I'll go back. So go ahead, Mary.
Thank you for taking my call. You know, I didn't agree with all your platforms, your
Right.
10-point platforms, but majority of them I did. And one of those platform items was transparency.
Hold on 1 second. Keep talking. Keep talking. I'm listening to you.
No worries. So that being said, you know, I don't know if everybody on here knows that, you know, you were advised to attend these meetings by your attorney.
No, that's not true.
Yes, it is, because I spoke to him.
Okay, so hold on. Let's be clear on this.
Okay.
When I spoke to him in April,
That was in April. I spoke to him this last, you know.
But Mary, he's no. Okay, so Mary, let me finish this, because now we're talking about confidential information with my conversation with the attorney. But you know what?
I'm sorry.
No.
I'm talking about transparency.
Hold on a second.
And
But
a lot of
transparency.
people on this call don't know. They're just going by what you're telling them. And I'm just saying, you know, for those of us that know the truth, Richard.
No, that's not. See, hold on, wait, Mary, wait, stop
Ron
right
was
there.
there
Hold
when I
on,
spoke to
wait a
the
minute,
attorney.
but Mary, stop for a second.
Okay.
Number one, my conversations with my attorney is confidential information. That's not about transparency. That's about being intelligent.
I'm talking about your conversation.
Hold on.
I'm talking about my conversation. Don't confuse those, Richard. Okay, well, don't commingle them because you're distorting the truth with those that are listening.
All right. Let me say this again. My confidential conversation with my attorney in April, I know what he told me. And I don't need you or anyone else to tell me, because you was not there. Now, when people were asking me about that money, did he get paid his money? And I said, yeah, he got paid the money. And then I said, go on and call him. And you guys called and had a conversation. But he's no longer my attorney, because I owe him money. So I don't have an attorney right now. So you guys are calling and talking to him, and he's telling you stuff that's not considered, I guess, confidential information. But he didn't tell me the same thing in April. I know what he told me. And that's all that I'm going to say on that. So, again, people can present their narrative to try to get me to do what they want me to do, but that's not going to happen. All right. So it's almost 9 o'clock. And tonight's been a very interesting night. And, okay. All right, so let's go to Betty Jackson Stewart. Go ahead, Betty.
Richard, I'm speaking with you right now.
Yes.
And what I want to say is, and I'm coming from a big sister's place.
Okay.
Okay? And I have a macro view of all of this. I'm not looking at just one angle or just this section over here. My view is not myopic.
Okay.
It's a macro view. I'm looking at everything. And what I'm looking at is, Richard, I know that you have your own reasons and your own strategy on why you move the way you move sometimes. What I would like to see you do I just want you to step outside of yourself for a moment and like looking in a window that you have no business looking in and say, okay, they have this, they have that. I want you to look, observe, and see, just hear what is going on and see what is happening, Richard, for the sake of the members. Because based on what you observe, based on what you hear, you could better determine which way we move forward. I believe it is in our best interest if you not have a second-hand view of what is happening, however, an up-close personal view with your own eyes where you make your own observations and you listen to what is happening and see if it makes a difference for you and the members as you move forward with your decision making. I just show us that little bit of support and let's see what difference it makes for you. Because it's one thing when you haven't been there and you're hearing from people. It's another when you're up close, you're personal, you're watching, observing, and listening with your own ears. And then maybe you can hear and observe a little bit of what you've heard on this call tonight. And let's see if that changes anything for you. I just want you to do it. I want you to do it for us. I believe it would make a difference.
Well, I want to thank you for that, for your opinion. And I saw Tony just saying that she trusts me to do what I feel is the right thing to do. So everyone has strong opinions on this. And you know, here's the one great thing. You know, I may be guilty at times of cutting someone off. And I apologize for that. But I'll let people talk and argue and fight. But not fight physically, just, fight with their words. And I don't know too many other Local 1000 leaders that allow that to happen. So I find it interesting how there's this great push. Like there's almost like something behind the agenda about making sure I go to this meeting. But that's it. We're cutting this off here at 9:03. I want to thank everyone for coming tonight. One quick thing, someone asked me about, they haven't saw me on Facebook in a long time. I didn't know people cared that much. And then also, people asked about Juneteenth. They said, did you forget about Juneteenth? All right. I'm not even going to go there. So I want to thank everyone for coming out tonight. And I want to thank everyone for getting along. And so, we may have had, a couple little emotional moments. That's just family. And that's just how things go. I still love every single one of you. And I know that I drive you probably at times out of your mind. And I ask you to forgive me for it. All right, today's June 29th, 2022. And I look forward to speaking with you very soon. Good night.